This is me, MYRON, golden. Hear me when I tell you this: life doesn't give you what you want. Life gives you what you demand. Too many people walk through this world hoping, wishing, waiting. But life is not a lottery ticket. Life is a battlefield. And the ones who win are not the ones who sit back and wait for opportunity, but the ones who show up with conviction, clarity, and courage. Rule I-11, own your mind, is where everything begins, because the truth is your mind is the command center of your life. Every single action you take, every word you speak, every step you make starts as a thought. If your thoughts are broken, your life will be broken. If your thoughts are small, your life will be small. The battlefield is never outside you. It's always inside your mind. The greatest wars you will ever fight are not against competitors, doubters, or haters, but against your own limiting beliefs, your own fears, and your own excuses. When you learn to command your thinking, you gain the power to command your future. Your mind is like fertile soil, and whatever you plant in it will grow. If you plant seeds of doubt, seeds of worry, seeds of negativity, then don't be surprised when your life produces fear and failure. But if you plant seeds of faith, seeds of determination, seeds of possibility, then you will reap a harvest of victory and abundance. The problem is that most people allow weeds to grow freely in their minds because they don't protect their mental garden. They consume negative voices, toxic media, and opinions from people who have never accomplished anything, and then they wonder why they struggle to rise higher. Owning your mind means becoming intentional about what you allow inside it. Just like you wouldn't eat spoiled food and expect your body to be healthy, you cannot consume spoiled thoughts and expect your life to flourish. You have to be vigilant because your mind is always listening. Every time you speak words of defeat like, I can't, I'm not good enough, or it's impossible, your mind takes those commands and begins shaping your reality around them. That's why you must feed your mind with truth, with wisdom, and with affirmations that build your strength instead of erode it. Every great accomplishment in history was first born as a thought in someone's mind. The skyscrapers you see were once just visions. The technology in your hand was once just an idea. The greatest businesses, movements, and revolutions started in the mind of someone who dared to think differently. That's proof that your mind is your greatest asset. The question is, are you treating it like a treasure chest or like a trash can? Too many people fill their minds with junk and then expect to live like royalty. Owning your mind requires you to upgrade the quality of your thinking so the quality of your life can rise with it. When you own your mind, you stop being a victim of circumstances and become a master of perspective. Two people can face the same obstacle, and one sees it as the end while the other sees it as a beginning. The difference is not the obstacle. The difference is the mindset. You don't control everything that happens to you, but you always control how you interpret it and how you respond to it. That's where ownership begins, by deciding that your response will never be dictated by fear, doubt, or negativity, but by strength, faith, and wisdom. The mind has a powerful ability to create what it constantly focuses on. If you continually think about problems, your life will be overwhelmed with problems. If you continually think about possibilities, your life will be filled with solutions. This isn't just positive thinking, it's practical truth. Your brain is wired to filter information based on what you focus on. If you're always focused on what's wrong, your mind will blind you to what's right. But if you're trained to look for opportunity, your mind will spotlight possibilities that others can't even see. That is the difference between those who stay stuck and those who keep winning. Owning your mind requires discipline because the mind left alone drifts toward comfort, fear, and distraction. You must train it like a muscle, strengthening it daily with the right inputs: meditation, reading prayer, affirmations, visualization. All of these are exercises for your mind. Just like an athlete doesn't wait until game day to train, you cannot wait until a crisis hits to strengthen your thinking. You prepare daily so that when the storm comes, your mind is already anchored in clarity and courage. Your mind is also where self-image is created, and self-image sets the ceiling for your life. If you see yourself as small, unworthy, or incapable, then your actions will never rise above that picture. You could have opportunities in front of you, but you will sabotage them because your mind cannot accept more than what it believes you deserve. That's why owning your mind also means rewriting the story you tell yourself about yourself. You have to declare who you are, what you can do, and where you are going, not based on your past failures, but on the vision of your future. Doubt, fear, and negativity will always try to rent space in your mind, but you don't have to give them the keys. You decide what thoughts get to stay. You are the landlord of your mental real estate. And just like you wouldn't allow a destructive tenant to tear down your house, you cannot allow destructive thoughts to tear down your destiny. Every time a negative thought knocks, you must answer it with a stronger truth. That's not denial, it's dominion. It's choosing to exercise authority over your thinking instead of allowing your thinking to exercise authority over you. The moment you begin to own your mind is the moment life begins to shift. Opportunities that were invisible suddenly appear. Strength you thought you didn't have rises up within you. Hope that seemed gone comes back alive. And all of it starts with one decision: to no longer let your mind be a playground for fear, but a powerhouse for faith, vision, and determination. Rule of 8-2E, take full responsibility, is one of the most powerful principles that separates winners from losers, leaders from followers, and dreamers from doers. Responsibility means ownership, and ownership is the birthplace of power. When you take full responsibility for your life, you are declaring that no one else holds the keys to your future but you. Too many people want to blame circumstances, other people, or even luck for where they are, but blame is a thief. Every time you blame, you give away your authority to change. Responsibility is not about guilt. It's about taking control back into your own hands. The reality is life will hand you situations that are unfair, and things will happen to you that you did not cause. But even in those moments, the response is always your responsibility. What you do next, how you react, how you rise, those choices belong only to you. That's the difference between those who stay stuck in pain and those who use pain as fuel. Responsibility is the shift from saying, "Why did this happen to me?" to saying, "What can I do with what happened?" That shift is where growth, wisdom, and strength are born. People who refuse responsibility live in cycles of excuses. They'll say things like, "I can't succeed because my boss doesn't like me," or "I can't be wealthy because I wasn't born into money," or "I can't be happy because of what they did to me." Excuses might sound reasonable in the moment, but they are nothing but permission slips for mediocrity. Responsibility tears up those slips and says, "No matter what, I choose to rise." The moment you stop excusing and start owning is the moment you stop being powerless and start being unstoppable. Responsibility is also the foundation of trust. If you want others to follow you, invest in you, or believe in you, They have to see that you own your actions. Nobody wants to depend on someone who always points fingers when things go wrong. Leaders are not those who never fail. They are those who fail, own it, learn from it, and move forward stronger. Responsibility builds credibility, and credibility builds influence. If you want your life to expand, your willingness to take responsibility must expand first. Another reason responsibility is so powerful is because it unlocks solutions. As long as you are blaming, your mind is focused on the problem and the person you're blaming. But the moment you accept responsibility, your brain switches gears and begins searching for solutions. You start asking better questions. What can I change? What can I improve? What can I learn? Those questions open doors that excuses will always keep locked. Responsibility takes your focus off what you can't control and locks it onto what you can. When you take responsibility, you also gain resilience. Life will hit you with disappointments, rejections, and setbacks. If you're waiting for someone else to fix it or rescue you, you'll stay broken. But when you say, it's on me to rebuild, you awaken a strength inside you that no setback can destroy. Responsibility makes you anti-fragile. It means the more life throws at you, the stronger you get, because every challenge becomes training for your character and preparation for your destiny. There is also financial responsibility. Wealth doesn't come to those who constantly complain about the system, taxes, or lack of opportunity. Wealth comes to those who say, no matter what system I live in, I will figure out a way to create value, to solve problems, and to earn at the highest level I can. Financial breakthroughs are not about waiting for the government or a raise. They are about taking responsibility to build skills, develop discipline, and make decisions that position you for increase. Relational responsibility is equally important. Too often people destroy relationships by pointing fingers instead of looking in the mirror. If every relationship in your life is failing, the common denominator is you. Taking responsibility doesn't mean blaming yourself for everything. It means asking how you can grow, communicate better, love deeper, and contribute more. When you bring ownership into relationships, you stop waiting for people to give you what you want and start giving what you want to see. That shift changes everything. Taking responsibility is also about time. Time is the most valuable asset you have, and yet many waste it and then blame life for not having enough of it. The truth is we all have the same 24 hours. The difference is not in the time we're given, but in the responsibility we take with it. Some people waste hours scrolling, complaining, or procrastinating. Others invest hours learning, building, and creating. Responsibility for your time is responsibility for your future. Finally, responsibility is freedom. The more you own your choices, the freer you become. Dependence on excuses, dependence on others, dependence on circumstances keeps you bound. But when you say, no matter what, I am responsible for me, chains fall off. You realize that you don't have to wait for someone else to change, for your life to improve. You have the authority to shift it right now. Responsibility transforms you from a passive passenger into the driver of your destiny, and that shift changes everything. Rule 8.3, master discipline is the difference between people who dream about success and people who actually achieve it. Discipline is not about punishment. It is about alignment. It means aligning your actions with your vision, even when your emotions are telling you to do the opposite. Emotions are temporary, but discipline is lasting. Discipline is doing what you said you would do long after the excitement you felt when you made the decision has disappeared. Every successful person you admire is not where they are because they always felt motivated. They are there because they mastered the art of showing up regardless of how they felt. Discipline is the bridge between intention and accomplishment. Everyone has good intentions. Everyone says they want to be healthier, wealthier, more successful, more fulfilled. But intentions don't change your life, actions do. And consistent action only comes from discipline. Without discipline, you'll live in cycles, getting started, falling off track, starting again, and wondering why you never move forward. But when you cultivate discipline, you break those cycles and create unstoppable momentum. That momentum compounds, and before long you look back and realize how far discipline has carried you. Discipline is also about small choices. People think it's the big moments that determine success, but it's the little decisions you make every day that shape your destiny. Do you wake up on time or hit the snooze button? Do you read the book or scroll through distractions? Do you save and invest your money or waste it on temporary pleasures? Each small choice is like a brick, and discipline is the architect that ensures those bricks are building a life worth living. Without discipline, the bricks fall in random places and your life becomes unstable. With discipline, every brick strengthens your foundation. Another truth about discipline is that it doesn't care about how gifted or talented you are. Talent without discipline is wasted potential. How many people do you know who are gifted in music, art, business, or leadership, but never go anywhere because they lack consistency? On the other hand, there are countless stories of ordinary people with average talent who became extraordinary simply because they were disciplined enough to outwork, outlearn, and outlast everyone else. Talent may open the door, but discipline keeps you in the room. Discipline also requires sacrifice. You cannot master discipline if you're not willing to give up short-term comfort for long-term gain. That means saying no when everyone else is saying yes. That means working when others are sleeping, practicing, when others are partying, studying when others are wasting time. The price of discipline is always paid up front, but the reward is paid with interest. The price of laziness feels easy at first, but the cost is collected with regret later. Discipline teaches you to choose your hard wisely, because both discipline and regret are hard, but only one leads to victory. Discipline is not about perfection. It's about consistency. Too many people quit when they mess up once. They say, I tried to stick to the diet, but I slipped up, so I quit. Or, I tried to stick to my plan, but I missed a day, so it must not work. Discipline doesn't mean you never fall. It means you get back up every time you do. The strongest people are not those who never stumbled, but those who stumbled and refused to stay down. Discipline gives you the resilience to start again and again, until what was once difficult becomes natural. Your habits are a reflection of your discipline. If your habits are weak, your results will be weak. If your habits are strong, your results will be strong. Discipline is the force that shapes your habits, and your habits are the force that shapes your destiny. When you automate discipline through habits, you no longer have to rely on willpower alone. It becomes who you are. That's why disciplined people don't just act differently, they become different. They embody excellence, because discipline has rewired their behavior into consistency. Discipline also sharpens focus. We live in a world full of distractions where attention is constantly being pulled in 1,000 directions. Without discipline, you scatter your energy and dilute your results. But discipline trains you to focus on what truly matters and ignore what doesn't. It keeps your eyes locked on the prize when everything around you is trying to steal your attention. A focused mind fueled by discipline is one of the most dangerous forces in the world because it cannot be easily swayed or stopped. Another powerful aspect of discipline is that it compounds over time. At first, discipline feels heavy. Waking up early, exercising, studying, working diligently, it feels uncomfortable. But with repetition, those disciplines become easier, then natural, then automatic. And eventually, they produce results so big that people call you lucky, when in reality, it was the quiet work of discipline compounding behind the scenes. Discipline pays you back with interest, and the longer you stay consistent, the greater the return. Discipline creates freedom. At first, that sounds contradictory because people think discipline means restriction. But the truth is discipline is what sets you free. When you are disciplined with your money, you are free from debt. When you are disciplined with your health, you are free from sickness. When you are disciplined with your time, you are free from regret. Freedom without discipline is chaos, but freedom with discipline is power. Discipline gives you the ability to design the life you want instead of settling for the life circumstances hand you. Rule, hey, for a build systems. Not just goals is where people often miss the true secret to long-term success. Goals give you direction, but systems give you results. A goal is like a destination on a map, but a system is the vehicle that gets you there. You can know exactly where you want to go in life, but if you don't have a reliable vehicle to carry you, you'll stay stuck at the starting line. Too many people set goals at the beginning of the year, write them down, feel motivated for a moment, and then abandon them because they never built a system to sustain progress. Goals live in the future, but systems live in the present. A goal might say, I want to lose 20 pounds. A system says, I will exercise for 30 minutes every morning and prepare healthy meals every evening. A goal might say, I want to double my income this year. A system says, I will make 5 new calls to potential clients every single day. The problem is, people fall in love with the idea of the goal, but they ignore the discipline of the system. The system is where transformation happens. Systems are powerful because they create consistency. Motivation will fade, excitement will vanish, and energy will fluctuate. But a system doesn't depend on feelings. It runs on structure. That's why athletes don't just train when they feel like it. They train because their system requires it. Entrepreneurs don't just take action when it's convenient. They follow systems that keep the business alive even when their mood is low. When you build a system, you no longer have to negotiate with your emotions every day. You just follow the plan you already set. Another advantage of systems is that they multiply your efforts. A goal can only take you so far if you're relying on willpower alone, but a system automates progress. Think about a saving system where money is automatically deposited into an account. That system will grow your wealth without you having to think about it daily. Or think about a productivity system that structures your day around priorities instead of distractions. That system ensures results happen whether you feel motivated or not. Systems turn effort into momentum and momentum into achievement. Systems also protect you from inconsistency. Without them, you'll operate based on how you feel in the moment. One day, you'll work hard. The next day, you'll slack off, and soon your progress will collapse. But systems lock in behaviors until they become habits. Once something becomes a habit, it no longer feels like hard work. It becomes a natural part of who you are. That's why disciplined people often look like they have superhuman willpower. In reality, They just built systems that transformed discipline into habit and habit into lifestyle. The truth is, goals without systems are fragile. Life will always throw obstacles at you, delays, distractions, unexpected setbacks. If you only have a goal, those setbacks can derail you completely. But if you have a system, you simply adjust the process and keep moving forward. Systems give you resilience. They allow you to keep progressing even when circumstances shift, because your progress isn't tied to one moment of motivation, but to a repeatable process you've committed to. Another important aspect of systems is that they reduce decision fatigue. Every day your brain has a limited capacity for making decisions. If you're constantly deciding whether or not to do the work, you'll eventually give in to excuses. But if you build a system, the decision is already made in advance. You don't ask, should I work out today? Your system already says you do it at 7 a.m. You don't ask, should I make those calls? Your system already says you make them before lunch. By removing unnecessary decisions, systems free up your mental energy for creativity and problem solving. Systems also create scalability. A goal might help one person achieve something once, but a system can help many people achieve results repeatedly. That's why businesses thrive on systems. McDonald's doesn't just have a goal of serving millions of people. It has systems that allow employees anywhere in the world to deliver consistent results. If you want to expand your influence, your income, or your impact, you need systems that can grow with you. Systems allow you to duplicate success instead of reinventing the wheel every time. When you build systems, you also build confidence. Each time you follow your system and see results, you reinforce your belief that success is possible. That confidence compounds. Instead of relying on hope, you rely on evidence. Evidence that your system works, evidence that your actions matter, evidence that you can trust yourself to follow through. Confidence born from systems is stronger than confidence born from hype because it's rooted in reality, not just emotion. Ultimately, building systems is about creating a lifestyle that produces success automatically. A goal might push you temporarily, but a system sustains you permanently. The key is to design systems that align with your vision and then commit to them until they become second nature. Once your systems are in place, success stops being something you chase occasionally and starts being something you experience continually. Rule way 5I, surround yourself with strength, is one of the most overlooked yet most transformative principles of life. Who you choose to be around determines the atmosphere you breathe in daily. If you surround yourself with weak, negative, and defeated people, you will slowly inhale their weakness and exhale it in your own decisions. If you surround yourself with strong, driven, and disciplined people, their strength will rub off on you until excellence becomes the standard you live by. You cannot expect to grow in power while keeping company with those who drain your energy and dilute your vision. The truth is, environment always wins. You may have the strongest intentions, but if your circle is filled with people who mock your dreams, who gossip, who quit easily, you will eventually adopt their habits. On the other hand, if you place yourself in rooms where the conversations are about vision, solutions, opportunities, and strategies, your mind begins to stretch. The ceiling of your environment becomes the ceiling of your growth. If you want to rise higher, you have to elevate your circle. Strength in your circle is not just about physical or financial strength. It's about mental, emotional, and spiritual strength. You need people who challenge you to think bigger, who push you when you feel like giving up, who remind you of your worth when self-doubt creeps in. You need people who hold you accountable, not people who let you stay the same. Surrounding yourself with strength means refusing to settle for relationships that keep you comfortable but stagnant. Comfort does not equal growth. And growth only happens when you are stretched. The people around you act like mirrors, reflecting back to you what you are becoming. If you look at your closest 5 friends, you will see a reflection of your future because proximity shapes perspective. If they are lazy, you'll slowly justify laziness. If they are disciplined, you'll rise to match their discipline. If they are broke, you'll adapt to the mindset of lack. If they are wealthy, you'll begin to think and act in ways that produce wealth. The influence of your circle is silent but powerful, and over time, it will mold you without you even noticing. Surrounding yourself with strength also means being willing to walk away from weakness. Not everyone can go with you to the next level. Some people were only meant to be part of your past chapters, not your future story. It takes courage to distance yourself from people who are familiar but harmful. But every step away from weakness is a step towards strength. The higher you climb, the fewer people will be able to go with you because strength is rare and not everyone is willing to pay the price to develop it. Strength in your environment doesn't just inspire you, it protects you. Life will throw storms at you, and in those storms, you need people who can hold you up, not people who collapse under the pressure and pull you down with them. A strong circle becomes your shield in times of adversity. They don't just celebrate with you when you win, they strengthen you when you're weak, remind you of who you are, and push you back on track when you drift. Weak people will abandon you in the storm, but strong people will stand with you until the storm passes. The power of surrounding yourself with strength is that it raises your standards. When you see people around you excelling, you naturally want to rise to their level. If you're in a group where excellence is normal, mediocrity will feel uncomfortable. If you're in a group where mediocrity is normal, excellence will feel unnecessary. The atmosphere you live in redefines what is acceptable. And that redefinition is what shapes your destiny. That's why you must be intentional about choosing circles where greatness is the baseline, not the exception. Strength attracts strength. When you surround yourself with people who are committed to growth, discipline, and vision, you begin to attract opportunities, mentors, and partnerships that align with that same energy. Your circle becomes a magnet, pulling you into rooms you couldn't have entered alone. The right people will not just inspire you, they will open doors for you. Weak people shut doors out of jealousy, but strong people open doors out of abundance. Your circle can either be your prison or your passport. Surrounding yourself with strength also requires you to contribute strength yourself. It's not just about finding strong people to lift you up. It's about becoming strong enough to lift others as well. Relationships are reciprocal. If you want to attract strong people, you must also become strong, disciplined, and valuable. You cannot expect to be surrounded by lions if you're not willing to grow beyond the mindset of a sheep. You must bring something to the table: encouragement, ideas, consistency, accountability, because strong circles thrive on mutual exchange. Ultimately, the strength of your environment will determine the speed of your growth. You may have all the potential in the world, but if your circle is weak, your progress will be slow. But when you surround yourself with strength, growth accelerates. You are pushed further, stretched wider, and lifted higher than you could ever go on your own. Surrounding yourself with strength is not optional if you want to win. It is essential because your circle is the soil in which your destiny grows. Rule of phase 6C, align with purpose, is where fulfillment and true power are found. You can have money, recognition, and even influence, but if it is not tied to purpose, it will feel empty. Purpose is the compass that gives direction to your life. Without it, you may run fast, but you'll run in circles. With it, every step you take, no matter how small, becomes meaningful. Purpose is not just about what you do, it is about why you do it. When your why is strong, the how will always reveal itself. Living without purpose is like sailing without a destination. You can have the best boat, the strongest sails, and the most favorable winds, but if you don't know where you're going, you will drift endlessly. Many people spend years chasing after goals they don't even care about, only to achieve them and realize they climbed the wrong mountain. Purpose is what ensures that the mountain you climb is worth the climb. It saves you from wasting energy on things that don't matter and focuses your strength on the things that do. Purpose gives you endurance. When challenges come, and they always do, purpose gives you a reason to keep going. Money alone will not keep you in the fight when everything seems to be against you. Applause will fade, recognition will vanish, but purpose will anchor you. When you know why you're doing what you're doing, no obstacle can stop you. Adversity doesn't weaken a person aligned with purpose. It strengthens them because they understand that every challenge is shaping them for the mission they were created for. Purpose also elevates your decisions. Without it, choices become confusing and distractions pull you in every direction. But when you are aligned with purpose, decision-making becomes clear. You begin to ask, does this move me closer to my purpose, or does it pull me away? That question becomes a filter that simplifies life. Many of the things that once distracted you lose their power because you know they don't fit the assignment you've been given. Alignment brings clarity, and clarity produces peace. There is a difference between success and significance, and purpose is the line that separates them. Success is what you accomplish for yourself, but significance is what you contribute to others. Purpose always extends beyond you. It's about impact, legacy, and the mark you leave on the world. When you live with purpose, your life becomes bigger than your own comfort, bigger than your own desires. You begin to think generationally, asking not just how you can achieve more, but how you can create something that lasts long after you're gone. Aligning with purpose also protects you from comparison. When you don't know your purpose, you'll constantly measure yourself against others, comparing achievements, possessions, or status. But when you are rooted in your purpose, you understand that your path is unique. You stop wasting energy trying to imitate others because you realize your assignment is different. Comparison fades when clarity rises. Alignment allows you to run your own race with confidence instead of envying someone else's track. Purpose fuels passion. Many people wonder why they lack energy, drive, or enthusiasm. It's not because they're lazy, it's because they're misaligned. When you're doing something that doesn't match your purpose, it drains you. But when you are aligned with what you were designed to do, it energizes you even when it's hard. Work no longer feels like work when it is connected to your why. Purpose turns effort into joy because you know every action is part of something bigger than yourself. Alignment with purpose also requires self-awareness. You cannot align with what you don't understand. That means taking the time to reflect, to uncover your values, your strengths, your passions, and the impact